Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, in this video, we're going to go back to a case that I haven't talked about for a little while, but I think I'll be talking about it quite a lot over the next couple of weeks, because this is the case of Madeline Soto, this beautiful just 13-year-old girl who on the day, sometime on maybe the day of her 13th birthday party, or we're not sure when exactly, she was taken from this world by her, stepfather, will we call him? Stephan Stearns, sinister Stephan Stearns, who, she did refer to him as dad. So maybe he was a stepfather for a little while. He was the partner, briefly, of Madeline's mum, Jen Soto. And for a while, they were in a relationship, but then for some reason they split up. But it seems to be like an off-on relationship, doesn't it? And this was all going on in Florida, in the US of A. Then we'll find out more, of course, at the trial. Then it came last year, about this time last year, actually. It was Madeline's 13th birthday party. And Jen, her mum, was working, and Stephan, for some unknown reason, he came to the house that weekend, and the following day he was supposed to be taking Madeline to school. Madeline never arrived at school that morning. And then it turned out that although Madeline's mum, Jen, had not been at the birthday party for her own daughter, but her mum actually was throwing that birthday party, she came home from work later that evening, on the Sunday evening, decided she just wanted to get some sleep, and she sent off poor Madeline and Stephan Stearns up to sleep together so that she could get a bit of peace, if you like, get to sleep properly because she was so tired. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing in this video about what we think of Jen or don't think of Jen. Personally, I think Jen was probably being given extra medication by Sinister Stephan because he had a record of putting things in people's drinks, let's say. Anyway, Madeline disappeared the next morning. Supposedly, Stephan got up, took her to school. That's what he said he did. But Madeline, when Jen, Madeline's mum, went to pick up Madeline from school, she found out that Madeline, in fact, had not been at school that day. So they were both questioned, of course. Jen and Stephan were questioned, and the police took Stephan's phone off him, and it resulted that he had hundreds of images. He thought he'd wipe them off his phone because he thought he did a factory reset that he said he'd done accidentally. He thought he'd wipe these off his phone. He's like one of those thickos who didn't realise that the police could get these pictures back. Anyway, and it turned out there were all these horrible images of Madeline and I think other young people on there as well, but we'll find all that out at the trial. And videos as well as photos. And in many of them, Madeline appeared to be drugged. So we're going to find out all the ins and outs at the trial because Stephan has pled not guilty. So there's going to be a trial. All the details will come out and what role Jen is going to have to play in everything. We just don't know yet. It's not clear, is it? But anyway, the most important person in this story, of course, is Madeline. Poor Madeline Soto, 13 years old. Turns out she had been abused over the past at least 6 years. So, it's a horrible story. It's a very sad and tragic case. probably about as sad and tragic as they get, because then a few days later, Madeline's body was found, and it results that Madeleine had died probably by strangulation. So what happened? What happened that night? You know, why did Stephan take those steps and actually take Madeleine off this planet? He'd been enjoying her, you know, he'd been having a great time with Madeleine, really, when you think about it. And so it's a bit of a mystery to me why he finally snapped. So we've got all these different possibilities. Was she pregnant? Had she threatened to expose him? Had she met a boy at school and said, you know, she was going to start going out with them and he got jealous? We don't know, basically, yet. But these details will come out at trial. Now, the reason that I'm doing this video is because now it's approaching the trial. Originally, the death penalty was put on the table. Of course, Florida is a death penalty state, and Stephan could easily get the death penalty. Now, whether he will or not, we don't know now, because he's now trying to have the death penalty taken off the table. And that's really what we're going to talk about in this video. So let me show you this news item that will tell you about it.
So developing right now, attorneys for the man who's accused of killing 13-year-old Maddie Soto were in court today with a lot of requests for the judge.
Stephan Stern's lawyers are asking for the death penalty to be taken off the table. Fox 35's Marlisa Goldsmith is live in the Alert Center tonight with these new details. Marlisa.
Yeah, Luann and John, Stephan Stearns is facing several charges related to the abuse and death of Maddie Soto last year. His attorneys say the death penalty should not be considered in the case because it's unconstitutional. Prosecutors have already said they will be seeking the death penalty in the case. His legal team is also asking.
Unconstitutional? Where do they get that from? Now, this video of him coming out in this white suit, that was just after he'd been arrested. We saw the full, it's on my Madeleine Soto playlist. We saw the full interview with him when he went into the room not realising this was it for him. He was then arrested, stripped, given that... what's the word? It's a bit of poetic justice, really, that he was shamed, or, the things he'd done to Madeleine and the photos he had of her on his phone. And he was there stripped down in front of those police officers, women who came and took pictures of his member. So they're obviously to match it up with the photos that were on his phone, so that they could confirm that it was in fact his member in those photos and videos of him and Madeleine. So it was quite humiliating for him, and good, he deserved it, the way he humiliated Maddie and what he did to her. Now, the thing is, I think he's quite likely to get the death penalty because he has no bargaining tool. I mean, Madeleine's body has been found. They've got the videos. Before the murder trial, the first trial that there'll be is the trial about all the material that he had on his phone. So, they have proof. They have proof of him, of his abuse, if nothing else. What proof they've got of the actual... It took them a little while, didn't it, to actually charge him with murder. So we don't know what evidence they've got for the actual murder charge, but we know that they've definitely got all the evidence on the phone from the other charges. He'll face those charges first. So when he goes into the murder trial, if he's found guilty, he'll be found guilty as a convicted felon, most likely, already. Because it's unlikely he's going to be found not guilty, really, is it? Because they've got all this evidence on his phone. So, he's likely to get the death penalty because he's got no bargaining tool. He's got, there's no, I don't know if I suppose he could plead guilty to make it easier. Maybe that's something something that that's the only thing he's got, really, isn't it? To admit everything, plead guilty, say what happened. That's really the only bargaining tool that he's got, because Madeline's body has been recovered. They've got the photos and videos on his phone, etc. You know, they've got a lot of evidence against him. So it'd be interesting to see what he comes up with as mitigating circumstances. And how can it be unconstitutional? And of course, now we've got Donald Trump in charge of, of the country as a whole. Donald likes the old death penalty. He's not above signing death warrants. I reckon Stephan Stearns will be pretty worried.
Asking for the state to close pretrial hearings to the media and to throw out some evidence. So far, a court date to officially hear the motions has not been set. Stearns' murder trial is scheduled, though, to begin in September. Stearns is facing dozens of other charges that he sexually abused Soto before her death. The two cases are being tried separately. The sex crimes trial is set to begin next month. For now, live in the Alert Center, Marlisa Goldsmith, Fox 35 News.
Marlisa, thank you.
So by next month will be the first trial, and then later this year, the murder trial. So he's trying to, let's just watch that again to hear what she said. So he's saying it's unconstitutional.
Developing right now, attorneys for the man who's accused of killing 13-year-old Maddie Soto were in court today with a lot of requests for the judge.
Stephan Stearns' lawyers are asking for the death penalty to be taken off the table. Fox 35's Marlisa Goldsmith is live in the Alert Center tonight with these new details. Marlisa.
Yeah, Luann and John, Stephan Stearns is facing several charges related to the abuse and death of Maddie Soto last year. His attorneys say the death penalty should not be considered in the case because it's unconstitutional. Prosecutors have already said they will be seeking the death penalty in the case. His legal team is also asking for the state to close pretrial hearings to the media and to throw out some evidence. So far, a court date to officially hear the motions has not been.
Yeah, so he's trying to close it to the media as well. So, this is the other thing. They're starting their shenanigans now, the defense, to try and protect him.
Set. Stearns' murder trial is scheduled, though, to begin in September. Stearns is facing dozens of other charges that he sexually abused Soto before her death. The two cases are being tried separately. The sex crimes trial is set to begin next month. For now, live in the Alert Center, Marlisa Goldsmith, Fox 35 News.
Marlisa, thank you.
Also developing right now, attorneys for the man who's accused of killing 13.
Okay, so I just thought I'd bring you that, let you know that updates about this horrible man. This is it's going to be one of those very harrowing trials, isn't it? A bit like the Southport stabbings or the Sarah Sharif trial. Whenever there's a child involved, and Madeline, she looks so happy on this picture is from that day of her birthday party. She looked so happy. Her smile hides so much what she'd been going through all those years, or maybe she didn't realize she was being abused. Was she always drugged? Did she have this sort of, sometimes young girls like that, these horrible predators, they make them feel like they're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. It's so very sad because, and it's going to be one of those very harrowing trials. God knows, for us, never mind for the family, etc. And I know people are down on Jen Soto, but I feel for Jen because Jen, I think Jen's a fool, but I don't think she knew about it or anything like that. But she's a fool. She's a fool. She wasn't a very good mum in that sense. But yeah. Anyway, because we have to remember that Jen has not been charged with anything. Now, whether she'll be brought up as a witness, she's bound to be brought up as some kind of witness. We just don't know, do we? But I just thought I'd let you know. So he's trying to avoid the death penalty. I don't think he'll be able to. I can't see that in that particular state. What reason is he going to give? What, because it's unconstitutional? I mean, you know, it's not unconstitutional. But anyway, this is the defence's job. Sometimes it's frustrating, isn't it? We watch the defense lawyers. That's their job, to defend their client, and everyone has a right to a defense. But sometimes, yeah, it's so irritating, isn't it? Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know what was happening. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. And always remember, take care of you, because you are the most important person. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, please. Bye.